The awkward encounter. Alex never expected that moving into a new apartment would change his life forever. He thought it would be just another chapter, a fresh start in the busy city of New Horizon. The apartment was old and a little creepy, with strange creaks and shadows in the corners, but the rent was cheap and Alex did not have much money. So he packed his things, said goodbye to his small hometown, and stepped into the unknown. The building was full of odd people. Some never smiled. Some never talked, and the landlord was always in a hurry. But Alex liked his new place, especially because it was quiet. He needed peace to focus on his new job and to leave his past behind. But there was one thing Alex was not prepared for: his roommate. On his first evening, Alex waited in the living room with his bags. He heard a soft knock on the door. He opened it and saw a tall, thin person wrapped in a big gray hoodie. The hood was up, almost hiding the face. And the person wore thick gloves, even though it was warm outside. "Hi, I'm Zeke," the roommate said in a low, careful voice. The handshake was quick and cold. Alex tried to smile. Zeke did not smile back. They barely spoke. And Zeke went straight to his room, shutting the door softly behind him. Alex thought it was strange, but he just shrugged and went to unpack. Days passed, and Alex saw Zeke only in the kitchen or hallway. Zeke was always covered up, never looking directly at Alex. Sometimes, Alex heard Zeke talking quietly to himself in another language, or maybe it was just mumbling, but Alex did not want to be rude. He decided to respect Zeke's privacy. One night, Alex came home late from work. Tired and hungry, he took a quick shower. Planning to make some noodles, he wrapped a towel around himself, left his clothes in the bathroom, and walked into the living room. He thought Zeke was asleep, but he was wrong. At that exact moment, Zeke walked out of his room. They both stopped. Staring at each other, Alex froze. Zeke's eyes went wide. For a second, nobody moved. The apartment was silent. The only sound was the ticking clock on the wall. Alex's face turned red. He tried to laugh. "Sorry, man. I thought you were sleeping," he said, but his voice was shaky. Zeke just stared. Something strange was happening to Zeke's face. The skin started to shimmer like water, and the eyes slowly changed from brown to a glowing green. Alex thought he was dreaming. He blinked, but the image did not go away. Zeke pulled the hoodie tighter, but the glow from his eyes was clear. His hands, now without gloves, looked different: long fingers, thin, and not quite human. Alex took a step back, feeling both fear and curiosity. Was his roommate really an alien? Or was this a trick of the light? Zeke finally spoke. "I did not mean for you to see me like this." The voice was different now, softer. With an echo, Alex tried to understand what he was seeing. His heart pounded in his chest. Was this a dream, or was this real life? Before Alex could say anything, there was a loud, sharp knock at the front door. Both of them jumped. Zeke looked more scared than ever. He grabbed Alex's arm. "Don't open it," he whispered. "Please, just stay quiet." The knocking continued, harder and faster. Alex looked at Zeke, trying to decide if he should trust him. Zeke's eyes were full of fear, but also hope. Someone was searching for Zeke, and they did not want to be found. The room felt cold. Shadows moved across the walls as the knocking echoed through the apartment. Alex's mind was spinning. He had just found out his roommate was not human. And now someone was at their door. Was it the police, or something worse? Zeke pulled out a small silver device from his pocket. It flashed with blue lights. "If they come in, hide behind me," Zeke whispered. "No matter what happens, don't let them see you." Alex nodded slowly. He felt the weight of the moment for the first time in his life. He was caught in a secret much bigger than himself. His mind filled with questions, but there was no time to ask them. The knocking stopped. There was silence. Then a strange voice called out from the hallway. "We know you are in there. Open the door, Zeke. You cannot hide forever." Alex and Zeke stared at each other. Both were breathing fast. The world outside was not safe anymore, and neither was the world inside the apartment. Alex wondered what he had gotten himself into. He wondered what secrets Zeke was hiding and who was coming for them. He wanted to run, but something inside him said to stay. He wanted to shout, but he stayed silent. In that moment, Alex realized his life would never be the same again. The story was just beginning. Alex stood frozen in the dim light of the living room. Zeke gripped his arm tightly. His glowing green eyes were fixed on the door. The voice outside was strange and cold. Alex could feel the fear rising in his chest. He had never felt so much danger in his life. The knocking had stopped, but the silence was even scarier. Zeke did not move. He listened, waiting for the next sound. The whole apartment felt like it was holding its breath. Alex looked at Zeke and tried to whisper, but no words came out. Suddenly, the doorknob started to turn. It rattled, slowly at first, then harder. Alex's heart beat faster. Zeke shook his head and mouthed, "No noise." Alex stepped back, wishing he could disappear. The door creaked open just a little. Someone was trying to come inside. Zeke pushed Alex behind the old couch. "Hide here," he whispered. His voice was calm but urgent. Zeke stood in the middle of the room, the blue lights on his strange device shining softly. The door opened wider, and a tall figure stepped inside. The stranger wore a long black coat and a hat pulled low over his face. For a moment, nobody moved. The stranger's eyes searched the room. His steps were slow and careful. He sniffed the air like an animal. Zeke's skin shimmered as he tried to look normal again. Alex watched from behind the couch, afraid to even breathe. The stranger stopped and spoke in a flat voice. "You know why I am here?" Zeke did not answer. His hands were shaking. The stranger took a step closer. "You can't hide anymore. They sent me to find you. And I always find what I am looking for." Alex tried to see the stranger's face, but it was hidden in the shadows. There was something not human about the way he moved. Zeke took a deep breath and spoke. "I just want to live here. I am not hurting anyone." The stranger laughed, a sound without any warmth. "It's not about what you want. It's about what you know. You have something they want, and they will not stop until they get it." Alex's mind raced. What did Zeke know? Who were they? Why was this happening in his quiet apartment? He remembered the strange device Zeke held. Was that what the stranger wanted? Zeke stood his ground. "I will not give it to you," he said. His voice was braver than before. The blue lights on his device grew brighter. The stranger took a step back, surprised by Zeke's courage. Then he turned his cold eyes to the couch. Alex felt the stranger's gaze on him. He tried to make himself smaller, hoping he would not be seen. The stranger started to walk toward the couch. Zeke quickly stepped in front of him, blocking his path. "Leave him alone. He knows nothing." The stranger smirked. "That is not true. Anyone who sees you will never be safe again. You should have left this planet when you had the chance." Alex's hands shook as he gripped the edge of the couch. He could hear the blood pounding in his ears. Zeke pressed a button on his device, and a thin blue wall of light appeared between him and the stranger. The stranger reached out, touching the light. It sizzled, and he pulled his hand back in pain. "You think you can stop me with toys?" the stranger growled. Zeke did not answer. He kept his eyes on the stranger. The blue shield flickered but stayed strong. The stranger looked at Alex one more time, then turned to Zeke. "This is not over. They know where you are now. Others will come. Next time, you will not escape." With that, the stranger stepped back and vanished into the hallway. The door slammed shut behind him, the blue lights on. Zeke's device faded. Alex slowly stood up. His legs felt weak. He looked at Zeke, trying to understand what had just happened. Zeke sat down, his head in his hands. He looked tired and sad. "I'm sorry, Alex," he whispered. "I did not want you to get involved." Alex sat beside him. "Who was that? What do they want from you?" Zeke looked at the floor. "They are hunters. They come from my world. They are searching for something I have. Something very important." Alex wanted to run, but he knew it was too late. He had seen too much. He was part of the secret now. "What happens next?" he asked. Zeke took a deep breath. "We have to hide. We have to find a new place. If they find us again, they will not give up." Alex nodded. He was scared, but he did not want to leave Zeke alone. He felt a strange loyalty to his alien roommate. Even though everything was new and frightening, he knew he could not turn back now. Suddenly, they heard footsteps in the hallway. Zeke jumped up and checked the window. "Pack your things," he said. "We have to leave right now." Alex grabbed his backpack. Zeke pressed another button on his device, and a small blue map appeared in the air. They slipped quietly out the back door, hoping nobody would see them. As they disappeared into the shadows of the night, Alex wondered if his life would ever be normal again, but deep inside, he felt something else too, a sense of adventure. The real story was just beginning. Alex and Zeke moved quickly through the empty city streets. The night was cold and silent. Shadows danced on the walls as they walked. Both of them were breathing fast. Alex clutched his backpack tightly. Zeke's hood was pulled low, hiding his glowing eyes. After several blocks, Zeke stopped beside an old playground. He checked his device, then motioned for Alex to sit on a bench. They sat under a broken streetlight, trying to catch their breath. Alex looked around nervously. Every sound made him jump. Zeke put a comforting hand on his shoulder. "I know you have questions," Zeke said softly. Alex nodded. He wanted answers, but he was afraid to hear them. He glanced at Zeke, still not sure if he was dreaming or awake. Zeke took off one glove. His hand glowed faintly in the darkness. The fingers were long and silver, almost like metal. "I am not from this planet," Zeke whispered. "I am from a place called Ilara." Alex stared in shock. He had guessed Zeke was an alien, but hearing the truth was still hard to believe. "Why are you here?" Alex asked quietly. Zeke looked up at the stars. His eyes shimmered with sadness. "I am running from war. My world is dying. The hunters you saw tonight, they work for those who destroyed my home. They want something I took, a small device. It has the power to fix things, to create life, or to destroy it." Alex's mind raced. He tried to imagine Zeke's world. "A place full of danger and secrets. Is that the blue thing you always carry?" he asked. Zeke nodded. "Yes, it is the last hope for my people. If the hunters get it, they will use it to hurt others." Alex thought about his own life. All his problems now seemed small. He looked at Zeke and saw fear, hope, and loneliness all at once. He felt sorry for his strange roommate. "Why did you come to Earth?" Alex asked. Zeke shrugged. "I needed a place to hide, somewhere quiet, somewhere no one would look for me." A sudden wind rustled the trees. Both of them jumped. Zeke quickly scanned the area with his device. The screen flashed red. Zeke frowned. "They are searching for us. We have to keep moving." Alex stood up. "Where will we go? We can't just run forever." Zeke hesitated. "There's a place I heard about, a safe house for people like me. It's hidden. But I don't know if we can trust the people there." Alex felt the weight of the decision. He could turn back, leave Zeke, and try to forget everything. But he knew he couldn't do that. Zeke needed him, and he couldn't walk away from someone in trouble. Zeke looked at him. "You don't have to stay, Alex. This is not your fight." Alex shook his head. "You're my friend now. I'm not leaving you for the first time." Zeke smiled. It was small, but real. "Thank you," he said quietly. Suddenly, a loud crash came from the street behind them. Two dark shapes appeared under the streetlights. Hunters. Zeke grabbed Alex's arm and pulled him toward the alley. They ran, hearts pounding. The hunters shouted, their voices harsh and inhuman. They darted behind trash cans and fences. Alex's legs burned. He almost fell, but Zeke helped him up. "We're almost there," Zeke whispered. Ahead, Alex saw an old metal door. Zeke pressed his device against the lock. Blue light flashed. The door swung open. They hurried inside. Inside, the air was cold and stale. The room was filled with old boxes and broken furniture. Zeke locked the door and turned off his device. They waited, holding their breath. Outside, footsteps echoed. The hunters were close. Alex listened, praying they would not find them. The footsteps faded. Silence returned. Alex let out a shaky sigh. Zeke leaned against the wall. Looking tired, Alex sank to the floor. "What will we do now?" he asked. Zeke sat next to him. "We wait. If we move now, they will see us." "When?" "It's safe. We go to the safe house. We have no other choice." Alex nodded. He looked around the room. Something shiny caught his eye under a pile of papers. He reached for it and found a small black box. It looked old and strange. There were symbols on it, symbols he had never seen before. He showed it to Zeke. Zeke's eyes widened in fear. "That belongs to the hunters," he whispered. "They must have used this place before. We need to be careful. There may be traps." Alex quickly put the box back. His hands were shaking. Zeke handed him a silver ring. "Wear this. It will hide you from their scanners." But only for a short time. Alex slid the ring onto his finger. It felt warm. Zeke checked his device. Again, the screen turned green. "They are moving away. We have a little time." Alex wanted to ask more, but he was too tired. He closed his eyes for a moment. Zeke kept watch, his glowing eyes never closing, as Alex drifted to sleep. He wondered what other secrets Zeke was hiding. He wondered if he was brave enough for what was coming next. Outside, the night grew darker. In the shadows, new dangers were waiting. Asterisk, the old storage room, felt colder as the hours passed. Alex woke up with a stiff neck. Zeke was still sitting near the door, silent and alert. The device in Zeke's hand glowed softly in the darkness. Alex blinked away his sleep. Feeling hungry and nervous, it was hard to believe how much his life had changed in just one night. Zeke turned to Alex. "It's almost safe now," he whispered. "The hunters are not close, but we have to move before sunrise." Alex nodded. Rubbing his eyes, he looked down at the silver ring Zeke had given him. It felt heavier now, as if it understood the danger outside. They packed up quickly. Zeke slipped the blue device into his pocket and put his gloves back on. "Stay close to me. Don't talk to anyone. If we get separated, meet me at the train station," Zeke said. Alex agreed, his heart racing, stepping out of the storage room. The city felt different. The streets were empty, the sky a deep purple. Alex pulled up his hood and followed Zeke through narrow alleys. Every few steps, Zeke stopped to check his device. It beeped quietly, warning them whenever danger was near. At one point, they saw two hunters searching a bakery across the street. Zeke pressed a button and a shimmering blue shield appeared around them. Alex watched as they walked right past the hunters. The hunters did not seem to notice them at all. Alex wanted to ask how it worked, but Zeke only shook his head. "No time for science lessons," he whispered. As they moved farther from their old apartment, Alex began to notice things he had never seen before: strange marks on the walls, odd blue graffiti, and silver coins stuck in the cracks of the sidewalk. Zeke pointed to a symbol shaped like a star with a line through it. "That's the sign for safe passage," he said. "My people use these to help each other on Earth." They finally reached the train station just as the first light of dawn touched the sky. The platform was empty except for one man reading. A newspaper. Zeke kept his head down. They waited behind a pillar, watching for any sign of trouble. Suddenly, Zeke tensed up. "Someone is watching us," he whispered. Alex looked around and saw a woman in a red coat staring in their direction. She started walking toward them, her steps calm and confident. Zeke pulled Alex back. "Stay quiet. Let me handle this." The woman stopped a few feet away. She smiled, but her eyes looked sharp and cold. "You must be Zeke," she said quietly. Zeke did not answer. The woman held out a silver card. "My name is Myra. I help your kind find safety. You're looking for the safe house, aren't you?" Alex watched Zeke carefully. Zeke did not trust her, but they were running out of options. Myra glanced at Alex. "And you must be the human. Brave to help an outsider. Not many would risk it." Zeke nodded slowly. "How do we know you're not working for the hunters?" he asked. Myra smiled. "Because if I was, you'd already be caught," she said simply. She waved her hand and a small drone floated out of her bag. The drone scanned Zeke and Alex, then blinked green. "You're clear. Follow me, quickly." They followed Myra through the station, down a dark stairway, and into a hidden tunnel. The walls were covered in more strange symbols. The tunnel was long and winding. After several minutes, they reached a metal door. Myra tapped a code into the lock. The door opened with a hiss. Inside, it was warm and filled with soft blue lights. There were others. They're humans and non-humans, all looking tired and nervous. Myra led them to a small room. "You can rest here," she said, "but don't unpack yet. It's not always safe. Hunters sometimes find this place. We have to be ready to move." Zeke sat on the bed, finally relaxing a little. Alex sat beside him. "Is this what your life is always like?" he asked. Zeke nodded. "Always running, always hiding, never." Knowing who to trust, Alex felt a chill. He thought about his old worries: work, money, being alone. Now, none of that seemed important. He wondered how Zeke survived with this much fear every day. Suddenly, an alarm blared through the safe house. Myra burst into the room. "Hunters, they've found us." "Move, now," she shouted. Panic spread through the halls. Zeke grabbed Alex's hand. They ran after Myra, weaving through frightened people. Blue lights flashed, warning everyone to escape. At the end of the hallway, a door opened to the city's underground tunnels. Zeke looked back at Alex. "Can you keep going?" he asked. Alex nodded, breathing hard. "I'm not giving up now." They dashed into the tunnels as shouts and loud footsteps echoed behind them. In the dark, the only light came from Zeke's device. It showed a map of twisting paths: left, then right, then up the stairs, Zeke said. They moved fast, turning corners, climbing over pipes, and ducking under low beams. Suddenly, a door ahead slammed shut. Trapped, Zeke checked his device. "We need another way," he said. Alex spotted a vent in the wall, big enough for a person. "Here," he called. Zeke pried it open. They crawled inside, just as the hunters entered the tunnel behind them. In the narrow vent, Alex felt his fear change into something new: determination. He would not let Zeke be caught. Not tonight, not ever. They crawled through the darkness, not knowing where the vent would lead, but they kept going, hoping for a way out. Behind them, the hunters' voices grew fainter. In front of them, maybe, there was hope. The escape had just begun. The narrow air vent felt endless. Alex's hands and knees hurt as he crawled. Zeke's glowing device showed the way, casting blue shadows on the metal walls. Behind them, the sounds of hunters faded away. But Alex knew they were still in danger. Every few minutes, Zeke paused, listening for footsteps. Both of them were breathing hard, but neither wanted to stop. Finally, they reached a small grate. At the end of the vent, Zeke pressed a button on his device, and the grate popped open. They climbed out into a dark, empty basement. Pipes ran along the ceiling, and boxes were stacked everywhere. It smelled damp and old. Alex stretched his legs and looked at Zeke. "Are we safe now?" he whispered. Zeke shook his head. "Only for a little while. The hunters will keep searching." He checked his device, then pointed to a narrow door in the corner. "We need to go up and find another exit." As they walked through the shadows, Alex heard faint voices above them. Someone was arguing in a language he did not know. Zeke froze, his eyes shining bright in the darkness. "That's the language of my world," he whispered. "Someone from Ilara is here." They climbed a staircase and reached a heavy door. Zeke held up his device. The lock clicked open. They stepped into a dusty hallway lined with old lockers. At the far end, a figure waited in the shadows. It was a man with dark hair, wearing a long black coat. Zeke tensed up, ready to run, but the man raised his hands. "Wait, I am not your enemy," he said softly. Alex looked closer and saw the man's eyes. They flashed silver for just a second. "My name is Kale. I am from Ilara too," the man said. Zeke hesitated. "How do we know you are not with the hunters?" Kale shook his head. "I escaped them long ago. I help people like us stay hidden." He turned to Alex. "You must be the human helping Zeke. That is very brave, but also very dangerous." Alex nodded. "I didn't plan any of this. I just want to help my friend." Kale looked at Zeke. "You have the device, don't you?" Zeke nodded, but did not take it out. Kale lowered his voice. "There's something you need to know. The hunters aren't the only danger. Someone on Earth is helping them. They call him the Collector. He finds people like us and turns us in. He wants your device for himself." Alex felt cold. The idea that a human was helping the hunters made things worse. "Who is he?" Alex asked. Kale glanced around. "He is powerful. He has spies everywhere. You can't trust anyone, even the safe houses. The Collector wants alien technology for his own gain. If he finds you, he'll stop at nothing." Zeke gripped his device tightly. "We can't keep running forever." Kale nodded. "I have a plan, but it's risky. We have to go to the old library downtown. There's a secret room there. It's protected from scanners. We can hide while I contact my friends. Maybe we can find a way off this planet for both of you." Alex exchanged a look with Zeke. "Let's do it. Anything is better than hiding in tunnels." Kale led the way through back alleys and abandoned buildings. He moved quickly, always watching the shadows. At last, they reached the old library. The doors were locked, but Kale knew the code. They slipped inside, dust swirling around them. The library was dark and silent, books scattered everywhere. Kale guided them to a staircase behind a bookshelf. They went down to a hidden room lined with metal walls. "No scanners work here," Kale said. "We can rest." But not for long. Zeke sat down. Exhausted, Alex flopped onto an old couch. He felt the stress and fear catch up with him. Kale pulled out a small radio and began to send a coded message in the alien language. Alex closed his eyes, but he could not sleep. He kept thinking about the Collector and the hunters. Suddenly, the door to the hidden room slammed shut. Red lights flashed. Kale jumped up. "Someone is here," he whispered from a hidden speaker. A voice crackled. "You thought you could hide from me. Kale, you thought you could run. But I always find my collection." Alex and Zeke froze. Zeke clutched his device. Kale pulled a small weapon from his coat. "It's the Collector," he whispered. "He must have tracked us somehow." The walls began to hum. A strange gas hissed into the room. Zeke pressed a button on his device. A blue shield surrounded them, but it was weak. "It won't last long," Zeke warned. Kale looked desperate. "We have to break out before the shield fails. Alex, see if you can find the power source for the door." Alex rushed to a metal box on the wall. He yanked it open and saw a mess of wires. He remembered the small silver ring Zeke gave him. It glowed as he reached for the wires. Suddenly, Alex felt a strange energy flow through his hand. The doors? Lock buzzed and clicked open. Cale pushed the door. "Go, now," he shouted. They ran up the stairs, Zeke's shield flickering behind them. The gas chased them out of the library, but they managed to escape into the alley. The collector's voice echoed in Alex's mind, promising he would never stop hunting them. Outside, Cale grabbed Zeke's arm. "There's something strange." "About your friend," he said, nodding to Alex. "He might be more important than you think." Zeke looked at Alex. "What happened back there?" "How did you open the lock?" Alex shook his head. "I don't know. The ring just helped me. It felt like electricity in my blood." Cale smiled. "Maybe you are not as ordinary as you thought, Alex. Maybe you're the key to all of this." As they disappeared into the night, Alex realized the true enemy was not just the hunters or the collector, but something bigger. Secrets, power, and fate were pulling them into a battle for more than just survival. The story was not over yet. Asterix night fell heavy over the city, hiding secrets in every shadow. Alex, Zeke, and Cale hurried down silent streets. Their escape from the collector had left them shaken, but there was no time to rest. Zeke's blue device flickered weakly in his hands. Its power was fading, just like their hope. Cale led them through a maze of alleys until they reached an old, boarded-up theater. He knocked 3 times in a special pattern. The door creaked open, and a frightened woman peered out. She wore dark glasses and a scarf pulled high over her face. "Quick inside," she whispered. Cale nodded and hurried Zeke and Alex through the door. Inside, the theater was full of strange people, some human, some not. Alex saw glowing eyes and heard voices in languages he didn't understand. Cale pulled them to a corner. "This is a safe place. But only for a short time. The collector's spies are everywhere." He warned. Zeke leaned close to Alex. "We have to recharge the device. Without it, I can't protect us or hide. The shield won't last if they find us again." Alex looked at the blue device. Its light was dim and shaky. He remembered how the silver ring helped him escape the library. "Maybe I can help again," he said. Zeke nodded. Trusting him, Cale spoke to the woman at the door. She led them backstage, where an old generator buzzed. "You can try to use this for power, but it's not safe," she warned. Zeke hooked the device to the generator. The lights flickered and sparks flew. The device began to glow brighter, but suddenly, alarms blared. A red light spun over the stage. Cale's face turned pale. "They found us. We have to split up. Zeke, take Alex and run. I'll hold them off." Before Zeke could argue, the back door burst open. Hunters in black armor rushed in. The woman at the door drew a hidden blaster and fired. Cale grabbed a metal pipe and fought with all his strength. "Go now," he shouted. Zeke pulled Alex by the arm and dashed through a hidden exit behind the stage. They burst into an alley, rain pouring from the sky. "We have to get to the roof," Zeke said. "From there, I can send a signal. Maybe call for help from my world." Alex nodded. His heart raced. He had never felt so scared. Together, they ran up a narrow metal fire escape. Boots pounded behind them. A hunter grabbed Alex's backpack. Alex swung around, punching with all his strength. The silver ring glowed, and the hunter flew backward. Alex stared at his hand, amazed. "What is this ring doing to me?" He whispered. Zeke's eyes went wide. "It's waking something inside you. Maybe you're special. Maybe you can help save us all." They reached the roof. Wind whipped around them. Zeke raised his device to the sky. Blue lights shot out, forming a strange symbol in the clouds. Alex looked down and saw more hunters pouring into the alley below. "We're surrounded," he said. Zeke pressed a button on the device. A blue shield wrapped around them. "This will hold for a few minutes. We have to hope someone from my World answers the signal. Below, the collector appeared. He wore a dark suit and sunglasses, even in the rain. He smiled up at them. "You can't escape, Zeke. Give me the device and I'll let your human friend live," he called. Alex felt cold. He saw Kale below. Struggling against the hunters, Kale shouted, "Don't trust him. He's lying." Zeke looked at Alex. "This is my fault. I should have left you out of it." Alex shook his head. "We're in this together. I'm not leaving you." Suddenly, a bright flash lit the sky. A strange blue ship hovered above the building. Zeke's device pulsed, and a beam of light shone down. Zeke grabbed Alex's hand. "Hold on," he said. The light wrapped around them, lifting them from the roof. As they rose, the collector fired a strange weapon. The beam hit the shield, cracking it. Alex felt pain shoot through his body. The ring on his finger glowed brighter than ever, sending a wave of blue light back at the collector. The man fell to the ground, his glasses shattering for a moment. Alex saw something strange in the collector's eyes: fear, and maybe even regret. Kale ran forward, firing at the hunters. "Go, now," he shouted. The ship's doors opened, and a voice called, "Zeke." "Alex, hurry." The beam pulled them into the ship. Zeke's people stood waiting, their silver eyes full of hope. The doors closed. The city below faded into darkness. Zeke hugged Alex. "You saved me. You saved both our worlds." Alex tried to smile. He felt tired, but proud. He looked out a window as the ship rose higher. "What happens now?" he asked. Zeke smiled. "Now, we fight back. Now, we make sure the hunters and the collector can't hurt anyone ever again." As the ship soared into the stars, Alex knew his old life was gone forever. He was part of something bigger now. And he was ready for whatever came next. The real rescue was just beginning. The inside of the alien ship was bright and alive. Silver walls pulsed with blue light, and gentle music hummed through the air. Alex and Zeke looked around in awe. Zeke's people wore shining uniforms and moved quickly, checking screens and speaking in their own language. For the first time, Zeke looked calm. He took a deep breath. "We're safe, at least for now," he said. Alex sat down on a soft bench by a window. Below him, the city was growing smaller. Fading into clouds, he pressed his hand to the glass, wondering if he would ever see Earth again. Zeke sat next to him, placing the blue device carefully on his lap. "This ship is called the Hope," Zeke explained. "It's one of the last of my world. It came to rescue us, but also to make sure the hunters and the collector are stopped forever." A tall alien stepped forward. Her eyes were bright silver, and she wore a symbol like the one Alex saw on the city walls. "My name is Saren. Welcome aboard," she said in slow, careful English. "You both showed great courage. Now, there is a choice to make." Alex glanced at Zeke, and back at Saren. "What kind of choice?" he asked. Saren smiled gently. "We can take you to safety, far from Earth. There are worlds where no hunter can find you. Or, if you wish, you can help us. The collector and the hunters have hurt many, but with the device and with your new power, Alex, we have a chance to protect others." Alex looked at the silver ring on his finger. It still felt warm and alive. He remembered the shock of energy, the shield on the rooftop, and the strange way the ring seemed to connect with Zeke's technology. Zeke put a hand on Alex's shoulder. "It's your choice. You don't have to fight if you're tired." Alex shook his head. "I'm tired, but I can't run away. Not when I know there are others out there who need help. Not after what we've seen." Saren nodded. "We will need you both. There are more like the collector on other planets. They want power. They want to control what should belong to everyone. With you, we can protect our secrets. We can give others hope." Suddenly, a screen flashed red. An alarm echoed through the ship. Saren turned to a crew member and spoke quickly in her language. Zeke's eyes widened as he read the words on the screen. The collector is not finished. He is using stolen technology to call for more hunters. They are trying to track us, even. Now, Alex stood up, heart pounding. What do we do? Zeke grabbed the device. We have to stop the signal. If they follow us, it will be the end of both our worlds. Saren led them to the ship's command center, outside the window. Space looked endless and full of stars. The crew worked quickly. Zeke connected the device to a console. The screens glowed blue, lines of code racing by. Alex, I need you, Zeke said. Put your hand on the device, like before. Alex pressed his hand to the glowing blue crystal. The silver ring shined. Power flowed through him, stronger than before. He saw images flash in his mind. Alara, hunters, and hope. Focus. Zeke whispered, think of breaking the signal. Shutting the door, Alex closed his eyes. Concentrating, he felt the device pulse in time with his heart. A wave of energy spread from the ship, crackling across the stars outside. The other ships chasing them began to slow, their lights flickering and fading. The signal broke. The hunters stopped. The alarms on the ship went silent. Saren let out. A sigh of relief. Zeke hugged Alex. You did it. We're safe, for now. Alex felt dizzy, but happy. The weight of fear and running was gone. He looked out the window at the bright stars. Saren touched his shoulder. You saved us all, Alex. There will be stories told about this day. Zeke looked at his human. Friend, you changed everything. You showed me what real hope looks like. As the ship sailed quietly through the stars, Alex realized his old life was gone. He was no longer just an ordinary guy with a boring job. He was part of something big, a new family among the stars. Saren handed Alex a small badge with the same star symbol he had seen on Earth. This means you are one of us now, wherever you go, you'll be welcome. You have a home with us, and with anyone who wants peace. Alex smiled. He looked out at the stars, wondering what other adventures waited. Do you think the collector will try again? He asked. Zeke nodded. People like him never stop for long. But now we are ready. Now we have each other, eh? Gentle chime rang through the ship. The stars outside seemed to shine brighter. This is just the beginning. Alex whispered, I'm ready for whatever comes next. And somewhere, deep in space, a signal flickered on a distant screen. Someone was watching, plotting, waiting for their own chance. But for now, Alex and Zeke were safe, and the universe felt full of new beginnings. The end, or maybe just the start of something even bigger.